become a better version of yourself. So the same thing, every week, all of you have the opportunity to learn about health, happiness, and well-being. So welcome to our Happy Medi Educare, epigenetic medical educational care brought to you exclusively by Golden Hands Epigenetic Solution. First and foremost, I would like to thank on behalf of Golden Hands Epigenetic Solution, I'd like to thank each and everyone for being here today for our webinar. And we are at the episode 13, and it's all about health, happiness, well-being for you, for me, and for everyone. As usual, please be reminded on the following house rules, just to make our webinar more enjoyable and productive. So we need your utmost cooperation for first to mute your device during the session, turn off your video, switch off your video if you are not in proper attire. Lastly, unmute your device during Q&A session. You may ask questions to the concerned doctor on the Q&A section. So this is basically, we don't want any interruption or distraction during the session. Thank you very much once again for your cooperation. So today, it's a continuation of inflammation. So in part 1 and part 2, there are a lot of information that our epigenetic consultant shared with you all. And today, we are going to talk about inflammation in part 3. So, dear participants, this is what the root cause of the inflammation. And I've been with Jess, and I've seen 99.9% all the patients comes with this problem. The challenges which they are having in terms of all those things, especially fatty liver, obesity, diabetic, and heart disease. These are the main cause of the patients are coming to our clinic and they get corrected. And this is mainly because of inflammation. And please remember that this is from part 1 to part 3 now. I would like to remind you that inflammation is the root of most diseases. So please don't take lightly on the inflammation. At the same time, as we grow old, as we age, okay, year by year, day by day, we are getting older and older. So what does the inflammation, if we not treated at the early stage, this is what will happen. The inflammation will also grows with us due to this what we call overlook of our condition of inflammation, whereby we not treated this at the early stage. This is what we are going to face as we are aging. So look at the complication of inflammation in a long run. You see, what are the chronic diseases, chronic fatigue syndrome, metabolic disease, and so much of complication happens due to inflammation if we overlook the inflammation, if we do not treat it earlier, or dear participants. So all those things will be discussed more detail by our Epigene consultant. Before that, let me introduce myself. I am Nesaraj from both Epigene, Golden Hands Epigenetic Solution for both Malaysia and India. And as I mentioned to you, with all the episodes, our mission, vision, and values comprise of 3 important things. Firstly, it is looking beyond your symptoms. We always look for the root cause. Secondly, a holistic way of life. We not treat your body, but we assist you with aligning you with body, mind, and soul. Lastly, preventive health care. Preventing disease is what we believe in. We emphasize more on this. And our epigenetic correction comprises of three important elements, which is known as 3C. As we, as our mission, values, and vision comprise of three areas, our epigenetic correction also comprises of three C's, which is basically on cellular correction, cellular root cause correction, metabolic correction. This is basically, as I told you earlier, is on for preventive healthcare. Because why epigenetic is important? Because this is a new frontier in medical science. And all you'll need to do is by following a very simple step. Everyone can do that. It is not a big task for each and everyone to do this. It's just a simple effort that you all need to do is just follow the VCG concept, which is visit, consult, and get corrected. And we are 24 years in energy analysis, and we are reaching closely to 25 years milestone. If you were to look at the track, you were to look at the graph from year 2000 up to now, this is how day by day, month by month, year by year, we are establishing ourselves in areas of energy and research, especially in epigenetic correction. For that, I should thank our mentor, our founder of Golden Hands Epigenetic Solution, group of companies for his untiring hard work, passion, dedication, interest. And to talk about our founder of Golden Hands Epigenetic Solution, he accumulates 36 years in medical, 15 years he served as a ENT specialist, 14 years in brain waves, 9 years in epigenetic, and various analysis research on epigenetic of human body, microvascular circulation, heavy metal toxicity, quantum analysis, and not even that, he been a motivated speaker, guest speaker for many wellness company and hosting medical seminar. And this is our founder, Professor Dr. Prabhu Kumar. And not even that, he has been one of the international advisory committee of European wellness globally. This is some of his achievement, accreditation, and accomplishment he has done globally up to now. And recently, on last week, 25th of June, Dr. Prabhu, Professor Dr. Prabhu, he had a lengthy discussion with the two scientists from they came to Kuala Lumpur, Dr. Dan and Dr. Fred. So he was having a one day meeting with them. They are looking into the phyto molecules, and this clearly shows that the future of epigenetic, where we are heading to. So epigenetic plays an important element to our well-being. And this is our key of experts, our team for both Malaysia and India. And Dr. Selvam, D.N. Selvam, is based in India. He too he accumulated 36 years in medical, senior physician, diabetologist, epigenetic consultant, and guest speaker for many wellness company hosting medical seminar as well. So let's hear it from my Epigen consultant. Before that, before I pass over to our Professor Dr. Prabhu, Arshita would like to give a brief introduction about laboratory testing on inflammation and also about inflammation marker. So I shall pass this to Arshita now.
A very good evening to everyone. I'm Ashita. I'm basically a lab technician. Now we are going to see about a lab tests which are needed to be done during the phase of the inflammation. And now I'm going to share this. During inflammation, various tests can be done. This is the first test, complete blood count, which is also known as full blood count. In this, RBC, WBC, platelets, and hemoglobin levels can be calculated. This test measures the difficult components of your blood, in which WBC indicates the presence of the inflammation or infection in our body. And the next one is a C-reactive protein. It is produced by the liver in response to or infections. It has both anti-inflammatory or pro-inflammatory properties. This elevated level of CRP in the blood indicates the inflammation in our body. And the next one is the ESR. It is also known as a SED rate. This test indirectly measures the level of protein in the blood. Where there is the inflammation or the infection, proteins in the blood clumps together and become heavier. That RBC settles down to the bottom of the bottle. So faster the red blood cells falls, have the more severe the inflammation. And the next one is the blood chemistry test. It is the blood test that measures the amount of certain chemicals in the blood or in the blood or urine sample. This measures the chemicals such as electrolytes, kidney function test, and liver enzymes. It measures the liver's enzyme and also kidney's enzymes and functions. And the next one is the imaging studies. Depending on the location and the type of the inflammation, imaging such as X-rays, ultrascan, CT, and MRI scan can visualize the affected areas. It helps to evaluate the inflammation in tissues or organs. And the next one is autoantibodies. This test are they used to treat the presence of antibodies that body's reflections, immune systems, body's own immune system. This test helps to diagnose and monitor the autoimmune disease such as rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and thyroiditis, and some disease which have given in this picture. High level of autoantibodies can mean you have autoimmune disease or risk of developing one. And the next one is inflammatory disease. Inflammatory markers shows of if your body is inflamed. It measures the level of special proteins in the blood or urine. This test helps to find out the inflammation in your body. These elevated levels can indicate the presence of inflammation or infections. Now I'm handing over to Nesa sir.
So thank you so much, Arshita, for your brief explanation about the markers and also the lab test. So now, most anticipated segment is about to start now. Now I hand over this segment to our Epigen consultant, Professor Dr. Prabhu. Over to you, Doctor.
Thank you, Nesa. All right, very good evening, all of you. I should appreciate Harshita because this is the first time she's giving a presentation, and I think there will be a little bit of nervousness, but you have done a good job. Still, you can improve, but it's good enough. I think people would have just got some information about the laboratory test. But for today's one, let me give you a little more a detailed explanation as to what is that we need to do in this part 3 of our presentation on inflammation. Now, last week I told you something about water. I hope you all remember that. Now, coming back to the water, what you need to understand is definitely you need to drink 3 to 4 liters of resonated water. Now, many times people are still wondering what is resonated water. So basically, resonated water is broken down molecules of the water into a smaller molecule. All right. Now, if you just imagine a river starting, now let's assume that Himalayas, where the first water or the river starts down. As it trickles down, it goes through a lot of phases where it will hit the rock, pebbles, mud. As it walks through or goes through or flows through, what happens is the water molecule starts breaking down. This is a natural way of the water molecule breaking down. That's why when you go to the water, especially the water flow where there is less pollution, and you can see the water is very crystal clear and you can drink it directly. Now, when the water molecules with all the minerals, you drink that water, what happens is your body is the same frequency as the water which you're drinking from the unpolluted sites, probably in the initial stages of the river. Now, what happens is there's a lot of healing will happen to you. Now, the same way, when you can do the breaking down of the molecules through resonating. Now, there are different methods of resonating. The latest one is the terahertz, but before this was magnetic resonance technology where they will break down the water molecule. So at the end of the day, what you need to understand, you definitely need to drink a minimum of 3 to 4 liters of water every day. Now, just to go back with your, I'm trying to knock your head once again. Why? Now, every person drives a vehicle right now. You possess a vehicle. Now, do you know that very frequently you are at least, monthly once or 2 months once, you are supposed to check the radiator, especially if your car is older version, you're supposed to check the radiator water levels. Now, if by chance you don't see the water level and it goes down, what happens? See, the car manufacturer has given an extra tank wherein you can pour the extra water. And what happens is, even if by chance the radiator water goes down, from the tank, the water will be pulled down. But if there is a leak or if there is some issue where the water is not able to contain in the radiator, now you don't look into it, your engine will seize. Now, this practically I've seen in my vehicle 2 times. I didn't notice the temperature rising because I was on the highway, and then suddenly the engine seized. Can you believe I had to change the whole engine? And the cost is a bombshell. Definitely, it's quite high. On the other side, your cell needs sufficient amount of water, just like a radiator. If you do not give the sufficient amount of water for hydration of your cells, the penalty you pay can be in different diseases, which you will not even imagine. Today, if you say 80% of the world population, we face a lot of diseases. It's all because of just dehydration. Now, dehydration, you think only when you feel thirsty, you think it is dehydration. No, your cells are thirsty. You don't realize that. So what you need to do, if your cells are thirsty, you are supposed to drink sufficient amount of water on a regular basis in your waken time. That means in the morning until before you go to bed, you're supposed to drink sufficient amount of water of around 3 to 3.5 liters, and all depends on your weight, which I've already spoken about in the previous. According to weight, how much you should multiply. So once again, water plays a very, very important role in bringing down the inflammation. Now, the second topic of today is the food. Now, food also definitely is one of the major causes of inflammation. And today, we are all prone to not just one disease or 2 disease or 3 disease. We are bombarded with multiple diseases, and even as doctors, we are confused because the symptoms what the patient come and tell us is totally irrelevant, and then it is vague. Now, when such a situation comes, what should we do? This is where we are looking at what is that you need to understand if I'm talking about food. If you're looking at the food, what are the food? You see there red meat, hamburgers, processed meat. And when you look at the baked goods such as the snacks, cakes, pies, cookies, which are all ready-made, ready to eat. Now, can you see the shelf life of all these products will be minimum 6 months to 1 year. or maybe sometime even longer. So what does that do? They add on to all these products which we are supposed to consume and can be protected for so long it doesn't get spoiled. Now, if the same thing you are going to eat, now these are all called additives. Now, there is something which commonly I think most of us are, love to eat is the deep fried items such as the French fries, which is ready-made. Today, it is in the frozen food. It is available. You just go pick it up. But when was this particular potato made into French fries and put it into the freezer? Definitely not less than a minimum 3 to 6 months. Because, for example, if French fries are prepared in USA, what happens? By the time Malaysia gets it, it'll be 1 month by the time it comes. Then after that, they have a long period of expiry date. So what happens? It just stays in the deep freezer for a very long time. And you as a customer, what you do, you just buy it up, go back home, and then defrost it. And then what you will do? You'll just fry it and eat. Now, what is happening is definitely these processed food will cause inflammation. Now, what you need to do, you need to change. There are fresh potatoes available. Why can you not prepare French fries freshly? You can fry it and then eat it, isn't it? It is easy. But what do? We do not do that because of either we are lazy or either we are very, very occupied, or for us, it's just a phone call away. You can just order and you get it. So when you look at all these situation, you are consuming little bit of inflammatory food, which in a long run will have a problem in your physical body, in the physiological process, and in turn, you will face situation in the form of a disease. Now, if 10 people are eating all the processed food, let's assume 10 people are eating maybe the French fries. We give it for 10 people. Now, after 6 months, if one person gets probably a stomach pain, the other person may not have a stomach pain, but may have diarrhea, may have some gastritis, may have some vomiting, may have some other issues. It can be in the form of infection. But all of them eat the same French fries, right? But the way the body manifests will be different. Why? Because there are a lot of ways where our epigenetic factors tend to react in a different person in different modalities. It is different. So in that way, do not assume that just because that person is eating, you also eating, so both of you should get the same disease. It is not a must. Now, other than that, if you're looking at sugar-sweetened beverages, it's quite high. Sugar most of the time. In fact, recently, this is very, very recent, I bought barley powder. Last time I used to buy barley powder from a ready-made one. I just picked up, but that was very sweet, I didn't understand why. And I used to love that, and I used to drink it up every day. But this time what I did was I bought it from another company, and I bought a little more of probably around 1 kg of barley. And can you believe, the moment I mixed it, I said there is no sweet at all in it. It was more like typical barley powder, and it was not sweet. Then when I realized what the previous company has done is they have added sweetened because it can stay for a little longer time. And of course, most of the human beings like sweet beverages, right? So what they will do, they will buy the same thing, go on and on. But today I realized that is not the barley I'm supposed to drink. I'm supposed to drink this barley, which is totally not sweet. It should be the natural flavor. And this is how we are all being cheated in the market and the ready-made canned food. We are all cheated by adding on sugar, adding on sweet corn. Now, corn is another powder where instead of sugar directly, they are sweet corn. It is called a sweet corn, and it is a replacement of directly sugar. But that is also another dangerous ingredient which definitely causes a lot of inflammation. So such of you who are all fanatics of drinking canned drinks, ready-made drinks from the directly from the shop, and then when you drink it up, definitely you're eligible for inflammation. And if you look at all the sports drink, trans fat, especially margarine, Yesterday also, when I went to one of the malls there, when I picked up the thing, it's very clearly mentioned margarine, but it is a spread on the butter. No, not many people will understand that you're not supposed to take margarine. But what people will do is it's just spread, bread spread. So they will buy it and then they will apply. This margarine is another very, very important inflammatory marker in your body. Now, other than that, can you see the microwave? If you're using microwave, I stopped using microwave 15 years ago. So I do not recommend anybody to use microwave for either heating or for any other purposes. Why? Because definitely it causes inflammation, but in a very, 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 very micro level. That's why it's called even microwave. So long run, it has been proven. In fact, if you go to Japan, microwave machines are not available. It has been banned probably 10, 15 years ago itself. But here in Malaysia, it's still available. I think even in India, it's still available. So there are a lot of situations where when you eat all these ready-made stuff. Can you see the last one? Non-dairy coffee creamer. Now you go to any hotels, they always keep ready-made creamers where instead of milk, they will. In fact, milk itself is not good for our health on a regular basis. But instead of milk, what they have done is they have brought down these creamers. Now, this is another disadvantage. And of course, I don't like the taste of the creamer. But if at all, if you are going to consume creamers regularly, definitely this is also going to cause a lot of inflammation. So when you look at the food stuff itself, there are a lot of things which you can avoid, which you can prevent, and you should look into the labels of whatever products you purchase, and if possible, avoid it. Go for freshly prepared vegetables, fruits, and whatever preparations you want to do. If you can prepare fresh food and eat, like those days, you just imagine your ancestors. You think they all had a refrigerator? No, isn't it? What they used to do, afternoon they used to cook, and once again, evening 6 o'clock, they'll start the cooking, and by 7 or 8 o'clock, the dinner is ready, and all freshly cooked vegetables, your rice, your chapatis, or whatever you want to eat, everything is freshly prepared. But today, how many of us are eating a freshly prepared food? I would say I hardly can count because of the easy availability of a lot of things. But I think when diseases come in, what will happen? You will start enlightening yourself with all the new ideas, and you will start looking at how to be healthy, how to avoid all the inflammatory situation, and then you will definitely eat a healthy food. Now, this is a very beautiful saying. What you eat is what you are. Watch out. Food is a medicine. Yes or no? Food should be your medicine. Now, if food should be a medicine, how do you choose your food? How do you choose your medicine? It is number one, what vegetables are you eating? Number two, what green leaves are you picking up? Number four, what are the condiments? What are the spices you add on to your food? How do you prepare it? Now, coming back to preparation also, I will touch upon it a little later after this slide. Now, this is very, very important for every one of you. You need to prepare proper food plan for the day, and especially if you're a working person. Why do I say this is? Many times they will say, doctor, I'm working from morning, evening, I'm till evening, I come back, I sleep off next day morning, I go back to the office, and then I just pick up something, whatever is available nearby in the restaurant. It's okay. But the moment you get some diseases, what you will do? And when we as doctors, we tell you, we cannot eat this food, you cannot eat this food, you should be doing this. What you will do? You will try to change, right? But if you can make a habit on a day-to-day basis, it hardly takes a little time for you to prepare your meal, keep it ready the previous night. The next day morning, just get up. Today we have gas stoves, right? Electric stoves, gas stove, infrared stoves. All these are available. You just switch it on, you will get the heat. So what is so difficult for us to prepare? It's only a question of your mindset. For every day, you need to plan your thing. If you can plan, I can guarantee you, you all will be very, very, very healthy, which is what we all need. We don't want the diseases. We don't want the multiple medication to be consumed every day. We don't want. But if you don't put an effort today, who is going to put an effort for you? Nobody is going to put. Now, either it's you, now your family also depends on you. Once you start practicing, your family also will start practicing. This is what you need to do. So how are you going to plan your day? I always will give this kind of plan for every one of you. What do you do? The moment you wake up in the morning, what you need to do? Sufficient amount of water you can drink in the morning. Why? The reason is all through your night, there will be gastric juices which is being produced. And especially if you're eating a lot of spicy food in dinner. So watch out. At dinner, your food has to be light. I'll come down to the dinner part a little later. So drink sufficient amount of resonated water. Then the first thing you all can do is ABC. ABC is your apple, your carrot, and beetroot. Prepare the juice. It is one of the best juices available for you to drink in the morning. Look into it. Now, I always prefer most of us should have an alkaline breakfast with salads. You can have a little bit of millets, or one of the most beautiful, especially in India, people follow this, the old rice with onion and a little bit of curds. Now, this is what you need to do. I'll just give you the glimpse of what you need to do. Take a clay pot, take a little amount of rice, how much you're going to eat for the next day. Put the rice into that clay pot and fill it with water. Now, once you fill it water, close it up, and then next day morning, take out the water and you will have only the rice. Filter out the water. Add a little bit of curds and cut onions into it. And then if you really need a little spicy thing, you can add a little bit of chilies and add salt to taste. And if you can have this food, the carbohydrate value is very, very low in this particular food, number one. Number two, the probiotics is very, very high in this. And especially if you're a diabetic, amazing breakfast, because in one way, your glucose level will not rise up. This is something very, very beautiful in this old rice concept. And it's been there in India, especially people who go to the fields for working. What they used to do is they used to eat this rice and go, and it will be filling actually. You still can sustain until the afternoon. So look into this. Now, other than that, fermented food. It can be your idlis or dosas. You can have whole grain bread or plant-based protein powder. Now, recently I got a plant-based protein powder from India, and it's amazingly very tasty, but it is slightly on the expensive side. In Malaysian ringgits, I would say it will cost you around 120 to 130 ringgits for a kg of protein powder. It's a plant-based. And there we are giving this particular plant-based powder for a lot of kidney failure patients. And we found that in 3 to 4 months, their creatinine value also increased. And this is something I would recommend for people who are all above 50 years. Look into the plant-based protein powder so that you definitely need, your muscle needs protein. So you need to, and the good news for this particular plant-based protein was you have all the amino acid, the 9 amino acids, which is essential for you in your body, and which is very beautifully blended into a powder form. And then the moment you consume, it really pushes. In fact, for the past 1 week, I'm consuming it and I feel very energetic, and I've stopped eating dinner. So what I've done, only afternoon I eat my lunch, and after that night I started consuming this, and I don't feel hungry at all. I feel very nice. The body is very light. So you should look into this plant-based protein powder, number one. Other than that, you can drink barley, which I told you, I love drinking barley. Why barley is? Barley is very good alkalizer, and it is a very good cleanser as well. Now, there is another, our Golden Hands health drink, which I have prepared, that I will probably share it with you in probably, maybe not today, but definitely in the WhatsApp group, I will start sharing this. This also, you can prepare it at home, and then you can start drinking this. And this is another very, very good drink where it will reduce your inflammation. Next, coming back to your afternoon, what are you supposed to eat? Afternoon, you can have a little bit of brown rice with a minimum of 3 vegetables, probably a fist size of cup, 3 vegetables, and preferably steamed. You are not supposed to use a cooker to boil your vegetables. You're supposed to use steamer to boil your vegetables, and it should be around 10 to 15 minutes. It should be half cooked. That means 50% cooked. And you can have yogurt, should be a part and parcel of your afternoon meal, you should have yogurt. And such of those who want to eat a little bit of fish related, you can have steamed fish. But on the other side, people who are going to consume red meat, I would say do not. But if chicken is your choice of this one, even there also, you need to look at if you can take steamed chicken would be a little better option. But otherwise, definitely, I would advise you not to consume a lot of chicken. Why? Because chicken are fed with a lot of, I would say, additives in the food, especially in the form of steroids and antibiotics, and they have been injected with a lot of steroids and antibiotics. So when you consume this, it disrupts your hormones, and that in turn will have a lot of problem in terms of, especially women, you'll have monthly periods issue. You can have thyroid issues, mood issues. And because of this hormonal imbalance, there are a lot of problems, including pimples can happen. But on the other side, for men, it can be in terms of infertility. Because for men directly, it may not affect them, the hormonal imbalance, but their testosterone will be affected. But for men also, thyroid is another problem which we are all facing in this century. I was quite surprised that a lot of males are also consuming thyroxine tablets today. Now, how is the thyroid has been affected? It's all because of the hormonal disruptors, because of the food what we eat. So you need to be really very careful. Now, coming back to dinner, I would prefer finish your dinner by 8 o'clock. It can be in the form of a porridge, anything light, including millets you can have, and any light diet, including millets, as I told you. And before bedtime, definitely you can have a barley drink or a protein drink, so that your digestive system doesn't go through a lot of difficult churning, which is not necessary at the night time, especially after 10 o'clock. Let your machine do the digestive process more easily, so that when you're sleeping, it can rejuvenate back. But many times you don't understand. If you're eating dinner at around 10 o'clock, imagine probably you're taking a little bit of chicken, okay, or even a red meat or something heavy. If you're eating a non-vegetarian, especially a meat or chicken, it is going to take minimum of 6 to 8 hours for it to digest. So 10 o'clock you eat. So until early morning, your body is still going on churning and churning and churning. Now, when is it going to absorb all the vitamins and nutrients? At what time? In fact, 10 o'clock to morning, by 3 or 4 o'clock, your body is supposed to clear up all the waste product and rejuvenate back and be ready for and it also needs to sleep, isn't it? Your organs needs to sleep a little while, isn't it? But you go on eating a heavy meal at dinner and then you expect your body to be healthy. It doesn't work. So please look into what kind of dinner are you eating and how. Once in a while there is a function, and then you go to a function and then you eat at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. It's still okay. But still, I would say, I will request you, look for light food and eat that light food and come back. Do not eat anything heavy. Now, coming back to your non-vegetarian, you want to eat non-vegetarian. It's not a problem. When you should eat, go for it in the afternoon. At least you have 8 hours of time. There will be some digestion. You're moving around. You're working in the office. Your body still can digest the food. So please look into it. This is how you need to. But you go to any restaurant and see dinner also, they serve all the non-vegetarian. For the business people, it doesn't matter, because for the restaurant owners, they want business. But for you, it is your responsibility, and your body is, it is you who have to take care of your body, not the restaurant. So change. Other than that, I have already previously told you, your coriander water, fenugreek water, apple cider vinegar, tender coconut, all these should be included in your day-to-day food and drinks. You should look into this. So I hope you understood that food plays a very important role. So please watch out what you're eating and give your body an opportunity to heal itself. Do not wait until the disease comes and then you awaken, and then you start bringing down your inflammation, and then you start looking at solutions in terms of reducing your inflammation. Don't do that. So now, what do you need to do? What is that which is going to bring down your inflammation? Very clearly, I told you, Terra's resonated water, starting your day by eating the alkaline food, specifically your beetroot apple juice, drinking tender coconut, fresh fruit juice, and all your meals must end with yogurt. Now, some of you will tell, Doc, without coffee, I cannot. You still can drink 1 or 2 cup of coffee is still fine. But in the coffee, if you can look into a decaffeinated coffee, this is something which not many people will talk about, but I'm going to give you this. By drinking a decaffeinated coffee, the caffeine is only 5 to 8% in a decaffeinated, but in a regular coffee, it is around 95%. Now, when you're drinking a decaffeinated, it helps you in your metabolic process in terms of low calories, in terms of being alert, in terms of healing process. A lot of good benefits are available if you're going to drink decaffeinated coffee. Even that, I would say 1 to 2 cups is still fine. And avoiding fried foods is always better. But you go to any restaurant, you have fried chicken, fried, anything is always fried there. And what kind of oil are they using? You and I do not know. They will use all the cheap quality oil, and that in turn definitely not at all a good I would say a good way of eating a fried food. See, even at home, what you need to do, I'll give you certain clues. If at all, if you're eating, you're using groundnut oil or coconut oil, we can only heat maximum is 2 times. And if at all, if you are heating the oil for around 120 degrees and above, you can heat once or maximum is 2 times. After that, you're supposed to throw the oil. But most of the I think in the residence, what we all do is we'll put it back into a container and then reuse it, reboil it. So the more you reboil the oil, the more rancid it will become, and the more cancer causing molecules are formed in this particular oil. So you be better careful, number one. Now, if you go to a restaurant, do you think the early morning when they come and put the oil into the fry pan, and they're going to change after boiling it once and then going to change another oil once again for you? I don't think so. What they will use is the same oil until the evening, the whole day. Only at night time, they will take it on throw. And especially if you are eating fried items after afternoon, maybe probably after 2 or 3 o'clock, what kind of fried oil they will use? All the morning oil only they are going to use. Now, what is the problem? You definitely will face a lot of inflammatory markers, which is already there inside the oil. This is what you are going to consume. And that too, especially if you are consuming fried item for the dinner in a restaurant, you are 100% prone for inflammation. And then don't blame anybody else. You have to blame yourself. And then finally, I told you the old rice is very good with onion, and this one is definitely you need to look into. So what I told, number one is your water, number two is your food. Now, third is your exercise. Now, how many of you go for regular exercise? Most of the time I hear this from the youngsters, Doctor, I have no time. This is what they say, number one. Number two, if you're already 50 plus, also no time, or you may have some issues in terms of health. Probably you have diabetes, probably you have a heart problem, probably you have arthritis. Now, all these excuses you can give, I might accept as a doctor. It's okay, don't do. I have no problem. But you think your body is going to accept that? Your body will not accept any excuses. Now, today morning, I was talking to my mom. I was, there was some topic I was talking to her, and I was telling her, if your body starts giving excuses, what will you do? For example, you're eating the same food every day, isn't it? When you eat the same food, your same rice or morning breakfast, it goes inside. If your stomach thinks, every day this person is eating the same thing, like, I want to stop working for today, and it just stops working. Your stomach stops taking in the food. What will happen? You're supposed to vomit everything, isn't it? Now, is that good? I don't think you will accept that. But your body is such a beautiful mechanism on auto, whether you like it or not. The moment you put in, it will start doing the job. The moment you eat, it will start. The moment you drink water, it will start working. And there is no rest for your body to even look into, for it to even, it wants to sleep at dinner, you are eating something. Now, this is where we have to change and change and change. You have no excuses. So regular exercise plays a very, very important role in your now, why am I talking about exercise? Is one of the easiest way for us to all the toxic waste products which is accumulated by your body all through your night. The next day morning, when you do exercise, it all comes out through the skin, through your breath, and when you pass your bowels, all gets cleared. So, don't you think exercise plays a very important role? Now the situation is, should you do the exercise in the morning or night? I would say you should do the exercise in the morning. Very important. So, it does reduce your inflammation. You try regularly exercise for 1 week and drink, because when you exercise, you're supposed to drink water, isn't it? So when you're drinking water, what happens? It dilutes all the toxins. Your toxic waste products are being thrown out very easily. So what happens is, it is a natural mechanism for you to drink water and when you do your exercise. So here, very important, no exercise after 8 p.m. I never recommend and I will never advise anybody to go for exercise. But we have seen gym opening 24 hours. I don't understand what concept is that for, 24 hours for. Why should you all open a gym for 24 hours? You think midnight someone will go exercise? But I do not know. But that is the way these guys are working on. But for you and me, definitely no exercise after 8 o'clock, please. Next, hydrate well before and after your exercise. If possible, this is something I definitely will advise you is add a little bit of bamboo salt. 6 burn bamboo salt is good enough. When you add, you have almost 70 trace elements, minerals, and micronutrients which is available in the soil, this particular salt. So it is an added advantage. And when you hydrate yourself with this bamboo salt and the water, let me tell you, your organs get very well balanced in terms of electrolyte balance. It's very beautiful. This is what we need to do. So you need to drink. Now, there are various means of going for exercise. Number one, what you see on the left side is just go with nature. Just go for a walk. Just walk on a grass. Be with the nature. Maybe weekly 2 to 3 times, if there is a possibility, look into it. Be with nature, and then definitely you're absorbing a lot of positive. Now imagine you're walking through the forest, greenery where there are a lot of trees. Your oxygen content is very high. Good, isn't it? Number one. Number two, when you're walking, especially barefoot on the grass, your energy gets neutralized, especially the positive ions of your body is thrown out and it absorbs all the negative ions from the nature. And then automatically you feel very nice. The negative ions get absorbed. It's beautiful. Next you see is walking on the beach side, especially the seaside. You see it's a salt water, isn't it? Now salt is another wonderful tool for anti-inflammatory. Have you seen those days, our ancestors, our grannies, if there is a swelling, they used to take salt, fry it on the pan, put it in a cloth, and then give the hot fermentation for the swelling, and within next few 1-2 days it will come down. And especially when you have a sore throat, what you used to do, salt water gargling. Amazing, isn't it? How beautifully the nature has given us all the facilities for healing ourselves. So imagine once in a month, you just go to the seaside and walk in the beach, spend some time. Maybe you want to go inside the water and swim there for a while. It's all beautiful. There's a lot of detoxification will happen. Now, other than that, can you look into this hiking and trekking? I'm crazy about it. And I was telling Nesa also that we all need to go. So such of those who are all interested in going for hiking or trekking short distances from 800 to 1,000 meters, please do get in touch with Nesa. We are planning it every month once. So I think as a team, we all go. I think it will be a jolly time for all of us, energizing ourselves. And I think it's a beautiful bonding for all the human beings that when we go on a group, there'll be a lot of positive energy being exchanged. So look into it. Now, other than that, at the end of the thing, you see waterfalls. Visit a waterfall once in a while and then go shower in the waterfall. It gives a lot of positive vibration and negative ions. When you go near a waterfall, do you know how much of negative ions it emits down there? Minimum 10,000 plus of negative ions is produced near a waterfall. So when you go and shower in a waterfall nature, you get a lot of negative ions. Now, you are in a city life with a lot of positive ions. You need to neutralize with negative ions. So this is where you need to go with nature. Other than that, especially people who are all above 50 years. Look for swimming as one of the most beautiful way to do your exercise is it will tune every cell of your body, and every organ is rejuvenated, and every joint is very well protected and safe for elderly people. Why? If you're older people and then you are going for jogging, what will happen? There is a knee injury, hip injury, back injury. These are all very common. But in swimming, that will not happen. That is another beautiful exercise you can look into if there is a facility available. Other than that, can you see here snorkeling and scuba diving is another very beautiful way of energizing ourselves. I think what we all see in this planet Earth is we see outside above the sea, but the whole beauty of this universe is under the sea. And I do not know how many of you all have gone for snorkeling or even scuba diving. You should look into it, and you should probably at least once in your lifetime regularly go for snorkeling, and once in a lifetime do go in for scuba diving. This is also a very, very beautiful way of enjoying and charging yourself with positive vibes. Now, these are all indoor facilities which is available right from yoga to breathing exercise to aerobic dancing to Zumba dancing. It is all available. So you all can look into what is easily available for you. Please look into it, and what is convenient for you, please look into it, and do look into and practice this on a regular basis. And in this, I would definitely stress upon every day for 15 minutes, if you all can specifically do a little bit of breathing exercise of 5 seconds inhaling, 5 seconds holding the breath, 10 seconds of leaving the breath. Per minute, you will be breathing 3 times. And this is the most beautiful way of enhancing your oxygen levels in your body. Please do this for 15 minutes. So breathing plays a very, very important role. And by doing a proper breathing, it is an anti-inflammatory. Beautiful, isn't it? So we have a handful of techniques and methodology, right from food to exercise to water, wherein you can bring down the inflammation naturally. At the same time, if you can avoid all the food which causes inflammation, will be a very, very beautiful asset for you to move forward. Now, saying that, what is a take-home message? I think you all are getting enlightened little by little, and the bulb is burning a lot in the terms of feeling excited within you. I can see that. But at the end of the day, you all have to carry some information, isn't it? So what is that information is? What is that which reduces inflammation? Number 1 is your water. Number 2 is your exercise. What is number 4, which I'm going to speak to you, will be something surprising for you for the next week. So once again, I'm going to continue the inflammation because there is going to be part 4, and there is a very important topic which I'm going to talk for the next week. Please join us for the next week. And I hope this particular webinar with Nesa, Harshita, myself, and all of you who are very sincerely attending on a regular Sunday basis, we really, from bottom of our heart, we say thank you very much for joining us. But at the same time, we definitely request you to share this into other WhatsApp groups to your friends, so that maybe 10 times you send, maybe 1 time they will come. But once they come, at least I believe that whatever efforts of our team of Golden Hands we are all putting in, everybody will be benefited. And at one day or the other day, you will feel that whatever we are giving information will definitely change the way you are looking at life. So saying this, thank you very much. And then I look forward to see you in the next webinar, part 4 of inflammation. Thank you. And over to you, Nesa.
So thank you very much, Professor Doctor. So dear participants, until the information are valuable to all of you, I am getting energetic. So I believe all of you all should have a lot of information about what Professor Dr. Prabhu was explaining to you. And despite some medical advice, look at the professional advice, the personal advice that he has been given to all of us. Okay. On top of it, to add on the food, to add on doctors talk about food. Okay, always we have to look nowadays a lot of foods available under organic. Okay, when you look at organic, there are two important things that you have to look into consideration. Either it's a natural organic or it's a synthetic organic. Okay, natural organic, you all know what is natural organic. It's a pure extraction from the plants, herbs, or fruit. But synthetic organic is a combination of natural and chemical. So please, participants, there are a lot of products available. They are putting the claim as an organic. Please look into it, whether it's a natural or it's a combination of synthetic and natural. On top of it, when talk about, doctor was mentioning about fast food, a lot of foods available in the shelf, because as you all know, the fast world, people are tend to have all our fast food. Please remember that fast food will attract fast sickness. We have to bear in the mind. And also, most of the common chemical that they use for preservative is sorbic acid, benzoic acid, prophonic acid. These both three acid is the common preservative they use for the products, for all the food products. So what happens that these these three chemicals they use basically to protect the microbial growth for the product, for the food itself. So what happens if we consume? So in the long run, this is what we will have fatty liver, you'll associate with cancer and a lot of complications to our body. So please, it's a wake-up call, dear participants. I'm not telling that you have to scrap the fast food once and for all. No, minimize it, gradually try to stop it. So now, dear participant, it's a section for all of you. Unmute your device. It's a Q&A section. You may ask questions to our concerned Epigene consultant. Please go on with your question, dear participants. Is there any question? I guess our participants are getting very much enlightened with what Dr. Prabhu was mentioning. They are very equipped with the knowledge that has been given by Doctor. There's no question, I guess.
Okay, I have a question, Amala, here. Okay, I just want to know, okay, doctor did advise that whatever food which is in the fridge, be it frozen food or whatever, it is not good. But for example, like, like even the toaster flour, which we do it at home, we keep it overnight and take it the next day. Is that okay?
Okay, Mala, what is happening is in today's advanced level of human intellectual situation, fridge is still acceptable because there are certain things what you can do is keep it in the fridge next day morning. The only situation for you is do not keep in the fridge for too long. For example, you prepare rice today and don't leave it in the fridge for 3-4 days in the fridge and then finally you open it up. Because the more you leave it in the fridge, the more microorganisms will be developing inside which is not active. But the moment it comes out, it releases a lot of toxins. That's the reason we do not ask you to keep the food for a very, very long time. For just 1-2 days, it's still okay. Absolutely, there is not at all a problem. But it all depends on individually how you want to handle your journey of life. See, at the end of the day, just because I'm telling you do not eat food from the refrigerator, you think the whole world is going to stop the refrigerator manufacturing and then finally they are going to eat all fresh food? It's not going to happen. But to an extent, if we can prepare, freshly prepared. Like today, I brought the vegetables from the market. What we normally will do is we'll leave it in the fridge, take it out and then wash it. But most of the time, I would definitely recommend you, if at all you leave the whatever product inside the fridge, take it out, put it in the resonated water. If you are having a terahertz resonated, you can soak in it and then you can cook it. It gives a lot of positive vibes, as well as it rejuvenates your whatever vegetables and fruits when you soak it in terahertz resonated water. So I hope I cleared your question.
Yes. And in fact, I answered another one more question I had, because some vegetables we don't cook them, we can eat fresh, like salad,
Salads.
carrots, and cucumber and all that. So I used to wonder, is it okay to eat it just original, just by just cleaning? So you were saying that if you can put it in the water, and what water was that? You
The
said that will be
terahertz resonated water.
carrot.
But by
Yes.
chance, if you do not have a terahertz resonator, not to worry. What you can do is you can use apple cider vinegar with baking soda, half liter of water. You can just soak it in, take it out, and then use it, so that we take out all the pesticides and other ingredients from the whatever green leaves or vegetables you're using. You can do that.
Or soak it for how long, doctor? You said just dip
15
and take out?
minutes. 15
15
minutes.
minutes.
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right.
In fact, the most
And
commonest
we have,
problem we face is the pesticides. This is where you need to be a little more careful. Soak it for 15 minutes.
so vinegar is also good to be soaked in.
Which one?
Homemade, the vinegar they sell.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. You can use a homemade prepared vinegars. It's not a problem.
okay? And another one question, doctor. To make life easy, what we do is working people cook on a Sunday, and then they keep it for the next 5 days, and they put it in smaller container and freeze it. And then it is not like it's opened every day. It for that particular day, they just take it out and they heat it up and they eat it. What do you think about that?
Okay. Here, if at all, if that is convenient, it's all ultimately convenience, right? Now, frankly speaking, there is no clinical study I have done, especially for people. Whatever you're telling me is a very, very practical situation. So we do not know. But for example, if a person is eating that regularly, and then if you can check after 2-3 years, their inflammatory markers in your body, if it is high, probably we need to look into that. This can be one of the reasons, because we are taking out from the fridge and then reheating and then reusing. But if it is going to be 24 hours to 48 hours, I think it's still reasonably acceptable for your body in terms of the freshness of the whatever product you're talking. So ultimately it is convenience.
Yes, it is out of convenience. So that's why if we cook home cooked, but only thing freeze it, take it out and eat it on different days.
You have to give it a try. Probably if you say, okay, you try this for 1 or 2 months, then we'll see the inflammatory markers. We'll do a blood check and see if there is some inflammation happening, then we know that that is not something which we need to look into.
Okay, doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mala. Okay, dear participants, other participants, is there any questions that you like to ask? You like to clear any doubts on today's topic? Tolera, Paramis, Suguna, Archita, Kanaga, Haribalan, Paramis. Is there
Sir,
any questions?
I have one question, sir. So nowadays, teenagers are facing irregular periods. So is there any drink for that, sir?
Regular teenagers
Irregular, irregular periods they are facing now.
Okay, now one of the main reason which in our clinical practice we see is the milk. What kind of milk are you drinking? Number one, because if you're drinking a fresh cow's milk, which is your own from your own farm, then it's okay. But if you're drinking a fresh milk, like for example, Harshita, if it is Bangalore, I think you all will be drinking Nandini milk.
Nandini milk.
Now,
Yes,
Nandini
sir.
milk is a processed milk. Definitely, it is a hormonal disruptor. So what will happen? If you're going to consume that regularly, definitely you'll have problem. Number one. Number two, very commonly the consumed food is chicken. Chicken is a favorite for most of the youngsters. But if you look at the way chickens are bred, as I told you before, it is all hormones and antibiotics being injected. So what will happen? Definitely when you consume that, you are going to face a problem and you will be facing the problem. And so what will happen? You go to a doctor, what the doctor will do? Ultimately, they will put you on another hormonal tablets. And because of that, you will put on weight. And because of that, there will be a lot of other problems which you will face. So what should we do? We should avoid anything that is related with our hormonal disruption. We have to stop eating that. But how as human beings we are going to do that? Now, you as an youngster, if I'm going to tell you stop eating chicken, you think you will do that? You will still eat. If I say don't drink milk, definitely you are not going to stop that. So ultimately, it is individual responsibility we all have to take and then move forward.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Akshita. Is there any other questions, dear participants? If you have no means, we will go to the last section of today's webinar. Is there any questions, dear participants? If that's the case, we shall move on to our last segment. I'd like to share something to all of you. All right. The moment you look at the image, all of y'all know that I'm going to talk about key. You see, key plays very important in our daily life, okay? You can't go into the house without opening the door. How do you open the door is you have to use a key. The same goes to our car, to our office, and it applicable for everything. Key plays important element in daily routine of our life. And also, the key has also given lot of to talk about spiritual quotes, motivation quotes. You see, the big view can be seen if you unlock your mind, unlock your limiting beliefs. So that is why key plays an important role in every aspect of our life, which I said earlier, in terms of success, in terms of everything in life. So why I'm telling this key? Because just in Golden Hands Epigenetic Solution, we are offering a special key for all of you to enjoy. So would you like to know what is the key which I'm going to talk about, which we are offering to all of you? Is the key knowledge of epigenetic correction for yourself. That is the key that we are giving you every week through this webinar. So by giving this key, what we are doing is Golden Hands Epigenetic Solution helps you, guides you to unlock your body with simple RRT. And what is RRT? It's recovery, reversal, and transformation through epigenetic correction. So get your full assessment, get your full body assessment, and remember, it's never too late, change the ending. So you are responsible for yourself. So please get in touch with us. The numbers are there for both Malaysia and India. Get in touch with us and we will guide you through and what should be treated, what should need to be corrected. And this is what we can do through a simple process of BCG visit, consult, and get corrected. So with this, the entire team of Jeffs signing off for today's webinar with loads of thanks. And until we meet up on upcoming webinar on next week. So the topic of inflammation is never stops for this part 3. It's continuous for another episode of inflammation part 4. Until then, so thank you so much. We will meet up on upcoming webinar from Jess. So thank you so much.